Hey guys, how are you? And I hope you are having a lovely day. Thank you so much for considering me for a reading. And I really hope that you enjoy my reading. I just wanted to give a quick intro on what I do just before you purchase. And I'll probably send this out to people in the introduction before the reading as well. So basically, I do need your birth time, your location of birth, just everything as detailed or as accurate as possible. Now, you don't have to have the exact time of birth. If you do know it, that's also very, very useful. Now, this is obviously not a psychic reading. This is just something that we read off a chart. So basically, if you have a look at this, everyone has a different birth chart. So everything inside of this circle was what was happening in the sky at the time of your birth. So for example, for this person I just made up, you can see that their rising sign is Aries. So their soul entered their body in Aries, and this is what we believe in astrology. So the first house it's a very personal house. It's all about your identity, your appearance, your initiation into this world. So this person is Aries. Now the second house talks about money, how you make money, your material possessions, your self-worth. Now the third house is all about your siblings. Even if you don't have any siblings, it's still the house of siblings. It's the house of communication. It's the house of, I guess the way you communicate, the mind as well. It's all about the mind. The fourth house is about family. It can also talk about parents as well, and also responsibilities. The fifth house is children, creativity, the way you express your creativity. The sixth house talks about health, fitness, and a service to others, but it also talks about daily activities. So, these are the sorts of questions that you can ask, and that's why I require questions. I can't not have questions because there is just so much going on in the chart. Now, if you have a look at these little symbols here, another thing is the seventh house talks about relationships. The eighth house talks about intimacy, loans, inheritances, death, rebirth. The ninth house talks about travel, foreign lands, philosophy, culture, higher education. The 10th house, which is usually the midheaven, talks about career. This is the highest point in the chart usually, and it talks about your career, your public reputation, your you can also talk about different authorities, even your parents as well could be seen in the 10th house. The 11th house talks about your hopes and dreams, your friendships, the community. It's a very humanitarian house because it's actually ruled by Libra. So each one of these houses is ruled by a different planet. Oh, and the 12th house is the house of the subconscious, the house of hospitals, the house of endings, healings. So, that's what it all means. Now, these little symbols here, these are planets, and every single one of us is going to have a different thing happening in our chart because obviously we were all born in different times. So, and the interaction between these planets is also going to have an effect. There's a lot going on. So another thing is these green symbols here, these are the transits. So these obviously change every day. And just because these are what's happening in the sky as of the 25th of November 2022. So depending on the day that I do the reading, this is what's going on. Now, another thing that I've just recently learned is zodiacal release, and it's really, really incredible. It talks about very big events in your life and basically shifts. So for example, the lot of fortune talks about health and your circumstances during all of these different years. Another thing is the lot of spirit, which usually talks about career. And the lot of eros talks about relationships, and it talks about different eras. So for this person, there's going to be a major era, or this LB means loosening of the bond. And it actually talks about just a big era in this person's life. So basically in 21st of June 2023, there a lot of Eros will enter Aquarius. So if we have a look at where Aquarius is actually their 11th house. And the 11th house talks about, we all know, friendships and all of those types of things. So, something could be quite exciting there. Now, this is the palm. And the palm as well is going to talk about a lot of what's happening right now. So for example, this is the headline. This person is a very intelligent person. This is the lifeline. We can see that. This is the heart line. And you could see this person is quite a nice person. Actually, they've worked on a lot to do with their past, I guess. Now, every single one of these planets, fingers, I see them as planets now. Every single one of these fingers is going to symbolize a different aspect of your life. Everything is going to mean something. And that's why we need questions, so I know what to focus on. Otherwise, there's a lot for me to talk about here. So, and another thing that I also can do is something called Harari. So Harari is when you set up I'll show you guys something. So it's kind of like you ask a question, and when the astrologer understands the question, I have to create a chart. And when I create a chart, it can be for any question, but it needs to be a specific question. So for example, will I marry my ex? Or will I get this job? Or something along those lines. And Now, this is the palm reading or chart reading, depending on what you do. I have also offered an express, so you can actually get your reading in 2 days with obviously a little bit extra, just because I do take a while. I do take about 4 to 5 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer. So depending on what you want and what you want to ask. There are all these different options. There's a 7-minute marriage, relationship, and love reading. There's a career reading that's also for 7 minutes. There's also a chart and palm reading for 15 minutes. This is in Australian dollars. So in US dollars, it will be around $50. So the prices are quite reasonable. This is the express 15-minute reading, so it'll only take 2 days to get back. Obviously, just because my schedule is very full on at the moment, that's why the price is a little bit higher. But definitely back in 2 days. This is actually the 25 to 30 minute reading, and there's also an in-depth an express 30-minute reading. So depending on what you would like to do. Now, another thing is I'm also doing transit readings, if that's what you're interested in. I do the zodiacal release, but I go into more detail. I look at the major and minor transits, the perfections, and you can even ask a horary question. So, depending on what you would like to do. And I wish you guys the best, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Bye-bye.